I want to talk today a little bit about ancient Teutonic Germanic magic and how we can see energy and religion and our practices in a certain type of light. And it's important to remember that while we're always improving, every generation is always improving on magic. There is still always a very powerful foundation in our ancestors that teach us where this comes from and how it relates to our own bodies and to the energies within us and around us. So in Germanic magic, before Christianity invaded Germany, most of the tribes were nomadic. They had what was considered a Teutonic belief system. They did not believe in good and evil. And in fact, the philosopher Nietzsche commented on this when he wrote the book Beyond Good and Evil, because he understood the history of Germanic morality. So before Christianity, there was no idea of good and evil. There was always Helagas or Hagalas, which was Hale, whole and hardy, whatever which represented the strength and the intrinsic wholeness of nature. And then you had Balwas. And Balwas is where we get the word Bane, or like baneful magic, from. Now, so it's either Hale, whole, or Bane. Those are the two binaries that you're working with in energies. And the way our energies express through our bodies inside and how we project out depends on how much of the Helas, the Hale, the wholeness we are channeling, or how much of the Bane we are channeling. And so this is going to make you think differently about religion and also your magical practice. In order for you to create, let's say, a spell or a prayer to vanquish your enemies, and this is very common in the Norse, they did a lot of cursing, a lot of protective cursing. The problem is when you do that, what you're doing is you're infusing Balwa's energy. You are wishing ill upon others. You're wishing brokenness, and you can only do that through connecting with the spirit of Balwas. And so there were magicians that they were baneful magicians. They would do black magic or baneful magic, and they would send out intent to harm other people. And even sometimes good magicians get caught in this, like they pray for the vanquishing of their enemies, the destruction of their enemies. When you're doing that, you are opening yourself up to becoming possessed by Balwa's spirits of not only of your ancestral lineage, of the land that you live on, and of the people around you. And this was a big deal. Like, it was really, really important. And if you look at all of the Germanic heroic myths and the fairy tales, you never ever see a hero cursing the villain to die. What they do is they protect what is innocent, and they spend all of their prayers and energy saying, give me strength, give me haleness, give me wholeness. What you do is you pray for the wholeness of the heroes who will defend the innocent. That's where your energy is best light, because if you are a magician and you are sending Balwa's energy to others, you may break them, you may hurt them, but you may also end up incurring your own body, your vessel, to be possessed by dark spirits. And it could take you years, maybe even lifetimes, to get rid of them. And there is a darker part of the Germanic tradition that I'm going to talk about a little bit later, that you need to watch out for. So the best thing you can do is to pray for the strength of the heroes and the strength of yourself, not only to resist tyranny, but the strength of the heroes who are resisting tyranny and who are protecting the innocent. You pray for those people. And when you do that, what you're doing is you're pulling into your energy body all of the energies of wholeness, of strength, and the power of your ancestors. And it's flowing through your chakras. It's flowing through your own body, and it's flowing all around you into your home, into the people around you. It blesses everyone around you. And you'll see that, I mean, even, and I know this is like a Disney fairy tale, but it's really important. Remember when Cinderella was so, in the story of Cinderella, she was so heartbroken of being betrayed by her stepmother and stepsisters. And she prayed to her fairy godmother. And all she said was, please help me. She didn't say, please strike down my stepsisters. Please hurt my stepmother. She never prayed for their destruction because she was a good example of a Teutonic woman who pulled in the energies of Helegas, of Hale, hardy, whole energies from her bloodline, and her fairy godmother, her EDC, her grandmother, her ancestral mother came and saved her. And that's the thing, is if you work with Balwa's energy, you lose access to your Hale and whole ancestors. They won't touch you. They won't help you. Because you may attack them, and they need to protect themselves from you. Because when you engage with wishing harm on others, you are actually pulling in broken and basically spirits that are split and damaging. So if any other person gets close to you, they get hurt by the energy within you. And there is a practice in what I've seen in Germanic shamanism, and as well as in Norse shamanism, where dark shamans and teachers will work with dark balwas, baneful spirits, and with black magic, and they will take all that darkness into them, and they will lure in unsuspecting students who don't realize that this is what the teacher is doing. And they basically they get the students to fall in love with them and to open their energy centers to them. And they offload the Balawa spirits into the students. And so if you know of a magical teacher and their students are continually falling ill or going mad or having issues with their family, there's a lot of chaos. A lot of that is probably because the magical practitioner is engaging with Balwas. And you want to stay far and far away from it. If you happen to get embroiled in that, you need to return back to the practice of praying for the wholeness and health of your own body, of yourself, and you pray for the wholeness and health of every good person you come across. So when you see good people, you see them doing good deeds. You pray for them. They pray that the gods protect them, that the ancestors guide them, and that they can continue to do good in this world. We need to bolster those who are whole and healthy, because by engaging in this idea of where I'm going to vanquish the darkness, by becoming the darkness, you only end up feeding it. And that is how I think a lot of the ancient magicians fell to Christianity, because in essence, a lot, especially like Christianity that deals with praying for the destruction of their enemies, that is a Balwas act. And that opens you up to this broken and Balwas spirit. And I think that's why a lot of Christians are tormented by dark spirits, because they're always praying for the destruction of other people. So please be careful and remember.